What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Southern Wind Outdoors. It is Thursday, July 25th. Got 2 days left until opening day on Saturday, and so we're going to be out here doing a little bit of target practice, some last-minute touch-ups before the season. This is not the time to dial things in. It's just the time to get a few more reps in, get used to what we're doing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to sling some arrows, but we're going to just take this and we're just going to launch it out to a random distance. Typically my hunting distances that I will actually ever really shoot are 40 yards in, and even more realistically that 30, 35 maybe. But I've never had a deer stop at 20 yards or at 30 yards. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw it out. If it's at 24, we're going to shoot, so on and so forth. All we're going to be shooting today is this little guy right here. So we're going to launch it out, we're going to range it and shoot it from there. I'll go over everything on the bow kind of as the video goes on, but yeah, we're just going to give it a launch and see what we're going to be shooting at. All right, and it finally finished rolling down there, landed on the small face target. So let's see what distance we're going to be shooting at from now. About 24 yards with the angle. We're shooting kind of a little bit downhill, so we're getting about a 26-yard read, but with the angle about 24. So Mathew's V3X, the 33-inch, a little bit longer axle to axle. And yeah, we're going to send some arrows down. We're shooting the Easton Axis 5mm. Got the standard helical on them, everything like that. So 24 yards should be pretty easy. What I do on these, since I shoot a fixed 5-pin, or even if you're shooting a 3-pin slider or a 5-pin slider, it'd be the same thing for this distance. Because I'm at 24, I'm not at 25. Yes, this bow's fast enough, and most bows nowadays are fast enough to just split it and you'd be just fine. 100% would be just fine. But because of this, I'm going to hair on the side of my top pin. So what I mean by that is my shorter pin is going to be my main gauge on this. So show you what I mean. Smoked it. So what I did there, and we can talk about this a little bit on a deer. So, let's just say, for example, your kill zone on a deer is 8 inches. That's your rule of thumb that you hear most people go by. Pie plate, 8 inches, whatever. Really, within that 8 inches with a bow, what you want to hit, you can pretty much cut that in half, because a liver shot, you're going to be tracking them for a while. And if you're doing any sort of public land or anything where leaving them lay is kind of a risk, or if you're down in the south, early season bow season, letting them sit and lay is not the best idea. It's really not, you're not going to get the meat off of it that you want the next morning. So to prevent that, we're cutting that size in half. Also, high lung, you're risking hitting just one lung. They can run and seal up. Yeah, they're probably going to die eventually, but you're going to lose that blood trail. It's going to be really hard to find them. And then a heart shot. I always err on the side of heart shots. The reason being, I aim for back side of heart, back half of heart. So if you're looking at a deer, if this is your deer shoulder, you got lung, you got heart, you got liver. I aim for basically backside of heart where it meets lung. That gives you, for most distances, a good safety net on the deer that duck, because realistically, a lot of deer duck. They're very seldom do they just stay perfectly where they're at. That also gives you room on a forward miss and on a back miss. And this is obviously for a full frontal shot. It would be a little different, quartering to, quartering away. Those are just tougher shots in general. So even without taking away your typical standards of the 8 inches, it's going to just be shorter because you don't have 8 inches of surface area on that deer. for a lot of these, especially if it's a doe or something like that. Bigger bucks, you might have it, but then you're talking meat and bone on each side on a frontal shot, which I would avoid taking pretty much every time. Even quartering 2 shots. If you're not shooting, you know, 65 pounds or above, those quartering 2 shots, you're punching through bone at the end of the day. A quartering away, if you're going to do something besides broadside, is probably your best bet, because you can tuck it in there without having to blow through a shoulder blade. So that's kind of my thoughts on the matter as far as angles with the deer. Another thing, shooting a heavier arrow this year, bigger broadhead. So the reason I went heavier is because of the bigger broadhead. I'm shooting a fast bow. My broadhead is a 2-inch cutting diameter. It's the G5 Megameat, so it's a big broadhead. And so because of that, shooting a light arrow, it's gonna dump energy quicker. So I use a heavy arrow to help, you know, a little bit with that energy transfer and to get better penetration all the way through the animal. Just running the CBE 5-pin sight. It's the Tactic Micro Trophy Ridge stabilizer, and then a QAD Hunter rest just to drop away. And that's my basic setup here. Shooting good. I'm shooting about 73 pounds at a 28.5-inch draw, 28-inch arrows. So yeah, we'll send another one, see what we can do here. Pretty good. And so granted, yeah, we're at 24 yards. Your room for error is pretty good at this distance. You don't got to be a perfect shot to make a good shot here. But that's why, like I said, this time of year, we're not practicing, or we're not, you know, dialing things in. This is just a final touches, keep you in the rhythm. I'm doing a lot of shots, you know, early morning these days, trying to just get used to that a little bit more. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just reps, and that's all we're doing right now. Money. So that's what we're running. Got good deer on camera. Think it's going to be a good opening weekend of hunting. So y'all stay tuned for the hunt coming up this weekend. Thanks.